start of this race adjoining, adjacent to the River Dee. And they jump away from the gate. Archduke Ferdinand was half asleep in the stalls, long way to make up the ground. Snowstorm, Hyderabad, Mr. Combustible driving up the inside. Dewari lies 4 early in the green jacket, then Golden Wells, a gap to the rather tardy pair. Prizeman, who's relaxed early, and Archduke Ferdinand, slow to stride, is just the back marker. Round in the left-hander towards the stands with over a circuit to go. And it's Mr. Combustible and Hyderabad, the Barry Hills 2, racing 1 and 2. From Snowstorm, the grey on the inside, then Dewari in the Aga Khan's colours that carried all before them last year. Golden Wells back in 5th on the inside in red and white, and then the last 2, the white-faced Prizeman on the outside of the chestnut, blue and yellow jacketed Archduke Ferdinand. A circuit to go then of Chester, about a mile left to cover, and up front is Mr. Combustible by a half length to Hyderabad in 2nd, Snowstorm the rail next. Dewari just being chased along momentarily in 4th there as they turn left-handed, a little bit unbalanced perhaps. Then Golden Wells from Prizeman, 1 from last, and Archduke Ferdinand. And again Prizeman, Kieran Fallon sitting quite low in the saddle, rather Dewari, just to chase him along in 4th place. Along the side of the course by the viaduct, and it's Mr. Combustible from Hyderabad, 1 and 2 as they have been throughout. In 3rd is Snowstorm, then Dewari, 4, 5, Golden Wells is covered up on the inside. The back 2 still Prizeman and Archduke Ferdinand, but the pack are covered by about 6 lengths now as they start down the back inside the final 5 furlongs. And it's Mr. Combustible still from Hyderabad. Snowstorm up the inside, Dewari shielded from this angle out wider, and they are followed by Golden Wells, niggled a bit, and then Prizeman and Archduke Ferdinand. They're now inside the final half mile. Mr. Combustible, the check jacket, passed now on the outside by Hyderabad. Dewari is being driven along in 3rd place behind these, with Snowstorm on the inside. Golden Wells looks flat-footed, so did as Prizeman, as the pace really quickens up, and Archduke Ferdinand is still last. The Hills too have continued to dictate this, with Mr. Combustible in front. Snowstorm though is angling out into 2nd place now and pushes Hyderabad wide. Back in 4th, Dewari is striking the muster speed as Prizeman stays on. Down the straight is Mr. Combustible, challenged wide by Snowstorm. Snowstorm putting in a sustained run to Mr. Combustible. Golden Wells is back in 3rd place. Mr. Combustible is fighting hard on the far side. Snowstorm rallying down the near side, but Mr. Combustible stays on stoutly to win the Vase. In 2nd, Snowstorm. 3rd then, Golden Wells, close for 4th between Prizeman and Dewari. Dewari never really looked happy on the track, I didn't think. And then Archduke Ferdinand and Hyderabad was last of all. Mr. Combustible up on the pace throughout, the 12-to-1 winner of this Victor Chandler Chester Vase Group 3 event. And the son of Hernando is an entry in the Derby at Epsom, so maybe he'll go there. Runs in the colours of Mr. R.A.M. Bonnycastle, trained by Barry Hills, who had the last winner, Amicable, and like that horse, Michael Hills, the winning rider here on this strapping 3-year-old who handled this tight track exceptionally well. And although Snowstorm laid down a fairly serious challenge up the straight, he never quite looked like passing this winner, Mr. Combustible, with back in 3rd Golden Wells, who got quite badly outpaced with about 3 furlongs to go, and Dewari in the green jacket, with Kieran Fallon having to just push away on him throughout the 1.5 miles. Mr. Combustible, a brave win from the front.
Yet another shock in the classic trials. I cannot remember a year when such upsets we've had in horses trying for the big races. Another one here. Mr. Combustible wins at 12-to-1, joint 6 choice of the punters. The outsider of the punters, that Mr. Combustible, a 12-to-1 chance. The sponsors only went 10-to-1 this morning. The runner-up Snowstorm, 13-to-2, 5th choice. The 3rd Golden Wells was sent off at 9-to-2, and the desperately uneasy favourite, if you listen to market vibes, you could not have backed that Dewari, returned in the end the 3-to-1 favourite. But that Mr. Combustible gives Michael Hills his 4th win in this race in the last 8 years, all in the late 90s. Peshtico, who won it on an objection, Gulland and Broadway Flyer in 94, and Barry Hills, his dad, wins it for the 4th time as well. Go back to the 70s, Crackervella, Proverb, as well as Peshtico. But that Mr. Combustible, bookmakers, they love these classic trials. The form is absolutely hopeless. How can punters go on betting on trials like this?